What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I have a cold and that's why my voice is just a bit odd. But anyway, in today's video, which is the first part of a series of videos, we're going over Battlefield 2042's weapons in real life. This was suggested by one of my friends who actually follows the channel and the videos as well. And I was like, let's make it happen, dude. So the reason why I'm dividing this video into different parts is not solely because there is nothing going on in Battlefield 2042 to make videos about, okay? It's not the only reason. The weapons are quite a lot to be fitted into one video, and that's also one reason for making different parts for this series. So in part 1, we go over the secondary weapons only. If you enjoyed the video, hitting the like button will really help the channel and help me as a creator. And if you want to see the upcoming parts as well, consider subscribing to the channel so you're not going to miss out on anything. Alright, starting off with the G57, which is a Glock sidearm since the game calls it an Austrian handgun. Battlefield Wiki calls it a Glock 18 without the ability to go full auto, so we accept that as a Glock 18, alright? It was released in 1987, and the frame size is just like the classic version Glock 17. As a 9mm pistol, this weapon comes with an extended 19-round magazine, but the user can also benefit from a 33-round magazine to enjoy that full auto capability. What's interesting is the fire rate of this thing. 20 rounds per second. That means 1200 RPM. It's just fucking crazy, man. Having one of these is literally illegal in the US. Generally speaking, having any sort of sidearm capable of both semi and full auto firing modes is heavily regulated in the United States, and because of these restrictions, it's actually a pretty rare gun to come by. Most of the users are counter-terrorists and VIP protection units, and the price of this thing is somewhere around $2,000. Next up, we've got the MP28, which is a pistol using a PDW kit. Now, let's take a closer look. The sidearm we're talking about here is a 6-hour P320, which is a ridiculously versatile sidearm, and the PDW kit is a Flux Defense MP17 PTW conversion chassis. Combined, they make the MP28 that we know in Battlefield 2042. Now, the conversion kits are simple, and I don't think they need much of an explanation. They just simply turn handguns into personal defense weapons or PDWs, which have stocks and grips providing better accuracy. But the main platform is still the 6-hour P320, which has been in service since 2014. Now, the versatility is because of the different calibers this thing can be fed with: 9x19mm Parabellum, 357 SIG, 45 ACP, 40 S&W, and 10mm. Switching between the calibers is also pretty much simple using a caliber exchange kit. It's in service in 16 countries, including the US, the UK, Brazil, Canada, and so on, and the price of this thing is somewhere around $900. Next one is the infamous 44 Remington Magnum, also known as M44 in BF 2042. It's a large bore, high recoil revolver, which is known as the most powerful handgun in the world. I'm pretty sure it is at least one of the most powerful handguns in the world, if not the most powerful one, due to its large size, high recoil, and slow firing mechanism. It's obvious that this revolver would never make it into a military because there are more reliable and cost-efficient choices all over the place, but the 44 Magnum is so iconic that you can literally find it in any shooting game. In reality, however, it's just an overpowered beast made to have fun with in a shooting range and blowing watermelons with. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen the videos where people just shoot the poor trees and watermelons with one of these. That's literally all this thing is good for. Man, the fans are gonna kill me. Relax, boys. Just kidding. Moving on to the next one, we've got the PF51, also known as Keltec P50, which is a semi-automatic pistol designed in the US by Keltec in 2021. What's interesting about this weapon is that it has the same magazine as the FNP90, which I believe all of you guys already know that weapon as well, so it can hold 50 rounds per mag. It's got quite a long barrel for a handgun, only 1 inch less than the P90 itself and twice the size of the FN57's barrel. This long barrel increases the muzzle velocity, so it's literally a personal defense weapon. It's $800 per unit, which is quite cheap for a weapon so capable, but I don't think it's gonna make its way into the militaries. I believe it'll remain a domestic use machine pistol. Next up, we've got the NVK P125, which is a bullpup pistol with no real-world analog. It's built by Nordvik, which is a gun manufacturer in the lore of Battlefield 2042. They sell to all armed forces and have a neutral political stance, which makes them a threat to the United States government. So without being a real weapon in the real world, we gotta skip this one. The Super 500 is the next secondary, which is also known as the Serbu Super Shorty or the Shorty 12G, which is a pump action stockless shotgun chambered in 12 gauge. Also, a 20 gauge model is available on special order. It's been in service since 1998 and is being used in many law enforcements and in the US military as well. It's been sold to various foreign customers as well, including the King of Jordan. So yeah, it's a weapon you can almost find in any shooting game, and it's quite a famous one. The next sidearm is the new gun on the block, DL9CZ. The real name, however, is Alien by Logo Arms, which is a gun manufacturer from Czech Republic. This weapon is one of its kind according to the manufacturer because it's got the lowest bore axis in the world. Now, bore axis is located just 1.7 millimeters under the axis of shooter's grip. As a result, the pistol practically does not elevate after the shot and has almost flat recoil angle and no muzzle flip. Its barrel is also completely fixed, which again provides more accuracy. It was the best weapon in SHOT Show 2020 and it's an award winner by Recoil magazine. It's literally a future weapon and it's really impressive, to be honest. Next up, we've got one of the legendary weapons both in real life and in gaming industry, the Desert Eagle, also known as the BFP-50 in Battlefield 2042. Originally, this weapon has been designed and developed by Magnum Research, but was refined by Israel Military Industries, also known as the IMI. It went into production since 1983, and it's still being produced. The users are GROM Special Forces of Poland and Portugal GOE Special Forces. This is one of those weapons that you can literally find in every single shooting game because it's famous for delivering extraordinary damage and being a semi-automatic pistol. It's also pretty OP in Battlefield 2042. Next up, we've got the Colt M1911, which is the grandfather of all the pistols in today's list. The weapon has seen 2 goddamn world wars. 2 out of 2. If there's going to be a third one, this thing is going to see that as well, because retirement just doesn't mean anything for this bad boy thanks to constant upgrades. It is chambered for the 45 ACP cartridge. The design of this thing was too basic, yet so overwhelming at the same time, that a lot of 20th century and modern pistols are basically built based on the M1911. Not only has it seen 2 world wars, but it was also the United States service pistol in Vietnam War. Modernized variants of the M1911 are still being used by some units of the US Army Special Forces, US Navy, and Marine Corps. It's also being used by more than 30 militaries around the world, which means that John Browning, the designer of this masterpiece, knew exactly what he was doing. Next one is another iconic yet very rare Russian revolver that you can probably find in any shooting game because it's just so badass. Ladies and gentlemen, the MP412 Rex. It was designed in 1990, intended for export, and that's why it's chambered for the 357 Magnum rounds. However, it has never entered production. While the real reason has remained unclear, many suggest that because of an argument between the 2 presidents of the US and Russia back in the day, Bill Clinton and Boris Yeltsin, the US market was kind of closed and the main purpose of the MP412, which was export, couldn't be fulfilled. The design was, and still is, one of its kind. It has a break-open frame rather than the typical swing-out cylinder of the most modern revolvers. It's legendary. Just simply legendary. And we've got another legendary weapon right here, the Beretta 93R, also known as M93R in Battlefield 2042. It's an Italian selective fire machine pistol designed and manufactured by Beretta in the late 70s for police and military use. The letter R stands for Raffica, which in Italian means volley, flurry, or burst. Some people even believe that R stands for rapid in English, but anyway, 9mm caliber with a 700 rounds per minute rate of fire made this thing a beast for those who wanted to have a concealable yet reliable machine pistol. The users are Italy and Honduras, but in gaming industry, it's all over the place. Last but not least, we've got the MP443, which is a Russian pistol and is currently the standard military issue pistol in Russia. It's a high-capacity, double-action, semi-automatic 9mm pistol. It's been in service since 2003, and it took them 10 years from 1990 to 2000 just to design this thing. It's in service in Armenia, Kazakhstan, and of course Russia, and it's a decent pistol even in the game. With that said, the first part of Battlefield 2042 weapons in real life comes to an end. Make sure to let me know what you think about videos like this one. If there's any criticism or recommendations, I'll be all ears, and more importantly, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the upcoming part 2, which I will cover the SMGs. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay cool.